gentleman over here that actually has the taste of the nectar of transcendence, and he's wanting to know that if you're actually tasting this, are you meditating too much? No, I'd say no. And the reason I would say no is because for some reason whatever techniques you are using is allowing your body to release it. So your body is obviously thinking, or whatever is inside your body to make this decision, is saying whatever you are doing seems to be correct because it's releasing it for you. Because of course adepts over the years spend years trying to get to this point to generate the taste of soma, or whatever we wish to call this substance. So I think no, I think you're probably doing the right thing, and I think you're about to be in a position of probably moving on to the next level, possibly.
You can take a swallow.
The question was that it seems that certain individuals, when they have these experiences, the reason that the experiences are considered to be odd and strange is because they're non-consensual. The idea that they're not being shared by other people was the first part of the question. And the second part of the question was, obviously some people, when they are in these states, do very, very evil things as if they're being taken over by other entities that seem to have their own motivations that aren't necessarily good. Okay, first part of the question. The only reason that a hallucination is called an hallucination is because it's not shared by other people. That is the classic definition of an hallucination. However, if you do have an hallucination with other people, our scientific friends have a wonderful term for it. They call it a folie à deux. And they've explained it because they've given it a nice label and they all go away. Preferably nice and Latin or French or whatever, because it just sounds impressive. If all of us have a collective hallucination here, it is collective hysteria. So they've explained it again. But they haven't. For instance, if two people share an hallucination, that suggests telepathy. And telepathy also isn't accepted by normal science. So normal science has explained something it doesn't like with something it also doesn't like. So we have an issue there. So for me, hallucinations is what exactly is reality. If you read the work of Celia Green and Dr. McCrory, who wrote a classic book on hallucinations many years ago, they have it called what's called a metachoric model of reality. And the metachoric model simply is everything is an hallucination. Every single thing, because you are perceiving the reality now that is processed by your brain and presented to your consciousness, which is exactly what happens when you have an hallucination. Nobody ever explains who creates the hallucination, who is the bricoleur, who is the person that creates the whole world within the hallucination, because there is no explanation for that. The final point is, and it's an excellent one, is that Watkins have already commissioned me to write a sequel to this book, which will be dealing with Through the Doors of Perception. And I will be dealing with the entities that people perceive in DMT experiences, when they meet evil entities or whatever. What are these things? Are they real or are they creations of the mind? If they are not creations of the mind, it means they have independent motivations. Now, I would argue that they are just the same as everybody else that are good, that are evil. And these ones that are evil could be a problem to us. Who knows? And I think your point about the Bible and everything else is probably a very valid one, because most esoteric traditions will always argue that you have to be trained before you go into these places. Doctor Strange, the movie that's just on at the moment. If anybody's seen the movie, there's one section where Stan Lee, the original writer of Doctor Strange, is actually reading Huxley's Doors of Perception, which is intriguing in itself. Okay, thank you.